Alright troops, VR Vampy here and welcome back to the channel. If you're a brand new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing something a bit different. Normally I play VR games and PC horror games. Today we're going to do a commentary video. I want to talk about the game Five Nights at Freddy's. The reason I want to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's because we all know Five Nights at Freddy's has been out for a long time. It was first released in the 8th of August 2014. So it's been about for a while and it now has a huge franchise. But the reason I want to talk about it is because it now has a horror movie. That horror movie's just, I think they've just ended filming it. I don't know if they're still filming it now. I think they've ended filming it. And we're just actually waiting for the release date. And like we'll get the trailers and stuff like that. But the reason I want to speak about it is I remember when I first played Five Nights at Freddy's, and if you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, it's basically a point and click horror game. It was an indie game and you play a night security guard called Mike Schmidt, and you basically have to survive from 12 AM to 6 AM without being killed by the animatronics that are within the pizzeria, because it's a pizzeria that we're in. So I think it was the first kind of, I'm not going to say jump scare game because there's been a lot of indie games that have come out with jump scares in it, but it was kind of the first kind of horror game that came out that had animatronics being the thing that you had to watch, you know, that you had to try and survive from. But also I did not realise that Five Nights at Freddy's had a huge backstory to it, and it wasn't until I was kind of years ago kind of looking different things up, because I always used to love watching people play it as well, which is one reason that Five Nights at Freddy's became so popular, was because big YouTubers played it, people like Markiplier and PewDiePie, who kind of made it, you know, well known, because the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's is Scott Cawthon. Made loads of games before this, but the games that he made were like Christian games because he's a devout Christian. He would make games like, I think they were kind of called like The Legend of Flan, and then he had one called Pilgrim's Progress. So he had never made a horror game before. He probably never even entered his mind about making, because he was always kind of making educational Christian games. And it wasn't until he made one game which basically gave him the idea for Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was a game where you played a beaver, and it was called Chipper and Sons Lumber and Co. And you played a beaver and you basically planted trees, water trees, the trees would grow full, you'd cut the trees down. So he made this, and all the other games, Scott said, had always got good reviews, but they were basically a financial disaster. So this game that he made, though, did not get good reviews. It did not get good reviews at all. People reviewed it. One reviewer, Jim Sterling, reviewed it and basically said that it was unintentionally terrifying and that the characters in it looked like scary animatronic animals. So this is basically what gave Scott the idea of making Five Nights at Freddy's. Not straight away though, because he was kind of, after getting a bad review like that, he was kind of defeated. He kind of felt like, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to be developing games and stuff like that. But then he came up for this idea of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it did really well. He put up a Kickstarter for it, but then quickly took it down, and maybe that's probably because he could just fund it himself, maybe. But then he put it on Steam. So he did Steam's Greenlight system, and it got okay. And he also put it on IndieDB, which made it quite popular. He brought a trailer out and a demo for people to play, and then the full game came out on the 8th of August 2014. And I remember playing it myself on this channel, and I think it's still on my channel actually, and I don't think I played it for long. I think I also played it when I hit 100 subscribers or 200 subscribers, but in VR, and I couldn't do it for long. It scared me. But going back to the story, it wasn't until I kind of researched and watched other people play and stuff like that, Five Nights at Freddy's, I actually realised from Five Nights at Freddy's 1 to 4, it's one complete story, and it's terrifying. I mean, you think, at first I thought the animatronics maybe it was just like a malfunction thing, and this is why obviously they were like trying to kill you, but I never realised the bigger story that came with Five Nights at Freddy's, that basically inside these animatronics are children's souls, because in the pizzeria, one of the owners, who is William Afton, is a child killer, and he has been luring the children within the Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria, or should I say the Freddy Fazbear's pizzeria. Basically, he's been luring them in by wearing the animatronic mascots, which is Spring Bonnie, and luring them in and killing them and hiding them inside the animatronics. So each animatronic has a child actually inside, and also they are now haunted by the children whose lives have been taken. And I think that is probably a story worthy of a movie. And, you know, the fact that it isn't until you keep playing Five Nights at Freddy's, like it's not a one-off play, you have to keep playing Five Nights at Freddy's to be able to see these posters, these flyers up on the wall. You notice posters will change and you'll see flyers, and basically the flyers will say children missing, the fact that they think that somebody who's working within the pizzeria has been luring the children and killing them. And as the kind of games go on, you find out more and more information, because Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is actually a prequel. So, same concept. You're basically playing another nightman called Jeremy Fitzgerald. But people think the person that you speak to on the phone in Five Nights at Freddy's, which I think were meant to be in 1993, people reckon that Five Nights at Freddy's is, but the prequel, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, is 1980 something. I think it's 7 or 84, something like that. Anyway, it's a prequel anyway. And Jeremy Fitzgerald is the person who's a night security guard there. People reckon the phone call that we keep getting, because we keep getting a recorded message every night for Five Nights at Freddy's, is Jeremy phoning us, leaving us messages. If that's the case, then Jeremy didn't survive, because by night 4 we hear this.
Oh, hey, wow, day 4. I knew you could do it. Hey, listen, I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm going to try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
And then night 5, all we hear is this. And the phone guy, which he is just called phone guy, everybody calls him phone guy because we don't actually know. People have said that they think maybe it's William Afton making the phone call, and if that's the case, then yeah, he get killed. But we know William Afton died within the Spring Bonnie costume. Apparently the costumes were made when they first made the costumes. The animatronics, you could actually get inside them, but you had to be very careful because they had spring locks in them, and if you made any certain movements, you know, that you're not supposed to, if the spring locks went, then basically it would contort inside your body and it would kill you. So the story of William Afton becoming Springtrap is basically the animatronics finally getting together to get the revenge on him. He decides to climb inside the Spring Bonnie suit so they'll not recognise him. This is what he was thinking. And he just kind of stands there and laughs at them while wearing this suit. And a bit of water drips and sets all the spring locks off in the suit, killing him slowly. They just leave him to bleed to death. And that's how he becomes Springtrap. So we know that they get the revenge on him and stuff like that, but there's so much of this story, so much. Like, I didn't realise the puppet that you see in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 has the soul of the other person who owns the pizzeria with William Afton, which is Henry Emily. And apparently William Afton murders his daughter. But it was actually Henry Emily who had made the puppet, and he had made the puppet to protect her. And she ends up getting shut outside the pizzeria, and there's a whole load of boxes on top of the puppet, and the puppet can't get to her. And William Afton gets to her first and kills her. And when the puppet finally gets to her, she's passed. But the puppet picks her up and cuddles her, and this is how her soul is able to enter the puppet. And it also says, but we don't know for a fact, that the puppet is the person who actually brought all the animatronics to life. That puppet has the power to actually be able to bring the animatronics back to life with the soul in it. So all of this within all these games, and I had no idea, because there's such a big, huge fan base with Five Nights at Freddy's, like huge. And Scott Cawthon has basically said 1 to 4 complete story. You have all your information. You have everything that you need to know the full story. But bits and pieces are missing, and people want answers, and Scott kind of likes to gaslight everybody, so people kind of come up with their own theories. And it's things like when we hear in Five Nights at Freddy's, the phone guy tells us about the bite of 87. So the bite of 87 is basically, obviously, the part of the prequel. It's in the other pizzeria. And I think the pizzeria, people are saying that they're not sure if the bite at 87 is being done by Bonnie, Toy Bonnie. Some people say that it was a customer that got bit by Toy Bonnie. Other people think it was Jeremy Fitzgerald that actually got bit by Mango, because he was asked to go in a day shift to watch some party to keep an eye on the animatronics because they were acting kind of weird, and it was Mango who ended up biting him. But the person who got bit didn't die, because Phone Guy basically tells us that it's amazing what the human body can do without a frontal lobe. So this person didn't die, but obviously has brain damage through this happening. So basically, we're going to go through each animatronic at Five Nights at Freddy's. Freddy Fazbear is a big brown bear animatronic. He wears a tiny little black hat and a bow tie, and he's basically the lead singer of the band that he has with Chica and Bonnie. He's normally centre stage. I kind of like how deep of a voice that Freddy Fazbear's got, because it's scary, and I love his wee bit of tune that he has when he's singing.
My name is Freddy, I'm the singer in the band. Got a hat and a big bow tie. Oh, I'm a big brown bear, but don't be scared, I'm a real fun-loving guy.
He doesn't move, like, he doesn't move until like night 3. And the thing that you need to watch with Freddy is you have to keep watching him through the cameras. If you don't keep an eye on Freddy through the cameras, then he will move. And if he then moves and gets to your door, Freddy does not leave. He doesn't go back. Whereas other animatronics come to the door, they'll leave again, they'll come back again. Freddy does not leave. And it means you need to keep your door shut. And as we know, we only have a certain amount of power. And if your power runs out, then you're in trouble because Freddy's going to get you. And he plays this tune constantly. Like, you kind of hear him coming because you can hear his tune. And you hear his big, like, he does this laugh that you hear, which is really creepy as well. All the animatronics kind of have like a look that they have that's really freaky when they look through the camera. All the animatronics kind of have like a look that they have that's really freaky when they look through the camera. But Freddy's meant to be haunted by the soul of a boy called Gabriel, who was one of William Afton's, basically one of Afton's victims. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to know that each of these animatronics is a child that's life's been taken away. The one thing I've noticed about Freddy Fazbear is a couple of the games that if you get the poster with them, if you bop Freddy's nose, it will honk every time you kind of bump on it. So let's talk about Bonnie. Bonnie is a purple animatronic bunny rabbit. He's got a big red bow tie. He plays the electric guitar, and he sings as well. They've all got like a wee bit where they sing a wee part in the songs that they sing.
Bonnie's my name, I'm hopping along with floppy ears and a cotton tail. My guitar is blazing, this rabbit's hair raising. Just listen to me wail. Sing it, Bonnie.
But Bonnie apparently was Scott Cawthon's. Like, he was more terrified of Bonnie than anybody, because he said that when he was testing the game, it was Bonnie that he was getting jump scared from all the time, and basically he was actually having nightmares about Bonnie. So Bonnie is like the most terrifying to Scott Cawthon. I kind of like Bonnie, and I like the fact that they had a part in the game, and they took it out, but I wish they hadn't, where Bonnie basically looks into the camera and pulls his face off, which is kind of scary. And there's many variants of the animatronics throughout the franchise. We have so many different Bonnies, we have so many different Freddy Fazbears, and we have so many different Chicas and Foxy. But he's got one Bonnie where his total face is missing. It's really kind of freaky looking. Bonnie's the one that you really need to watch more than anything. In night one, he is the first one to move. He's the first one to come up to the door. He will go, he will come back. He kind of likes to spend a lot of time in the cupboard for some reason, the storage cupboard, just kind of sitting there or just staring at you through the camera. But yeah, Bonnie can be a bit of a pain in the bahookie at times as well. And basically, Bonnie has the soul of a child called Jeremy inside him, who is another victim of William Afton. Let's move on to Chica. Now, to me, Chica is my favourite. I know a lot of people liked Chica when it first came out, and they thought she was kind of annoying, and they also thought she was a duck, not a chicken. But she's a chicken. And Chica actually means girl in Spanish, and she is the only female at this time, you know, from the first FNAF. So I like Chica because Chica to me looks the scariest. I mean, really looks the scariest out of all of them when she does that kind of head to the side and mouth wide open kind of look. She kind of reminds me before I've had my coffee in the morning. Oh, what was I doing? Oh yeah, coffee. But Chica sings a wee song as well, which actually sounds terrifying.
Hey, I'm Chica, the lady of the group. My singing is a treat.
So sweet!
But keep an eye on your pizza.
'Cause I'm a bird who likes to eat! Nom, 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 nom.
She wears a big bib that says let's eat, because as we know, Chica has a bit of an appetite and likes food, especially pizza. So sometimes when Chica is on the move, you will click the cameras to see where she is, and in the kitchen the camera doesn't work, but the audio in the kitchen works, and you will normally hear Chica rifling through the kitchen eating the food. And if you play Help Wanted, when you play Parts and Service and it's Chica's turn, she has got cockroaches all over her and pizza that you have to pull off, and this is because she's just constantly eating. And all the animatronics apparently have been told that they all smell bad, but this is because they have got decomposing body of children inside them. So yeah. And I like a lot of Chica's variants. The withered Chica is very scary. Her nightmare Chica is scary as well. I don't mind Toy Bonnie so much. I know a lot of people were like, why did they change her so much? But I feel like it's, yeah, you know, that's just what happens. Sometimes you get ones who have a huge change. And I feel like all of them was a huge change. So it was when FNAF 2 came. Even Bonnie looked more childlike than anything. They all kind of did. But yeah, like a wee cupcake that she holds in her plate, and it's got pink frosting and it's got buck teeth, and it sometimes disappears. So it does. But when she's on the hunt, she doesn't have it because it's actually in the office with you, sitting in one of the monitors. So Chica apparently makes very unsettling noises if you hear really closely. It's like a kid with asthma, and this is because, well, nobody actually knows what this is because people say they don't know if it's the soul of the child inside trying to ask for help, or if it's just because Chica's got a whole load of food within all the animatronics inside her that it makes a weird noise in her voice box now because she's been trying to consume all the pizza. We do not know, and probably we will never know. But Chica's meant to have the child of a little girl called Susie inside her. So this is another victim of William Afton. He's done well. He's been really, really busy. So next we're going to speak about Foxy, the pirate. Foxy is a bit different for other animatronics. His appearance is, he's already kind of withered looking. He has got like missing parts, fur and all that sort of thing, and he looks in bad shape. And in fact, when we first play Five Nights at Freddy's, we see that he's got his own stage, which is called Pirate's Cove, and the curtains are closed and it says, sorry, out of order. So that doesn't stop Foxy from coming running towards us at night time though, when we're the security guard, because when it comes to night 2, and Foxy can come out at night 1, it's just very rare, but he can come out at night 1. He will slowly peek out in the curtain. You have to keep an eye on him, and you'll see the curtain opening more and more, and then suddenly he will be out. He'll be out and he'll be ready to run. It's kind of like watching Roadrunner. And he will be off, and you have to close that door really fast because Foxy is really, really fast. And I kind of like Foxy. He's funny. He's not so funny when he's chasing after you, but he's funny. And he's meant to have a little boy called Fritz inside him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a boy called Fritz that he's meant to have inside him. So if you ever play Five Nights at Freddy's, you know that you have to keep an eye on Foxy. Come night 2 and then come night 3, you have to keep an eye on both Foxy and Freddy, because then Freddy will start moving and we want to try and keep him where he is on stage. So our last character we're going to talk about is Golden Freddy. Now, you might not see Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy is very, very rare to get when you play Five Nights at Freddy's, and you need to keep an eye. You need to keep an eye on a certain poster. If the poster changes, then you will turn around and inside your office, you will basically see Golden Freddy there. You have to quickly bring your pad back up and to make him disappear, and look at the locations to get him to disappear. But it's very rare to get him. He's basically a big yellow bear, a lot like Freddy Fazbear. He has a little top hat and a bow tie as well. Apparently, Golden Freddy sang with Spring Bonnie, so it was just 2 animatronics, those 2 when they first started the franchise, well, their company, William Afton, and both William Afton and Henry Emily wore the costumes at times because they're the ones who made the animatronics as well. That's what they both do. Until William Afton started being a bit crazy and actually purposely making animatronics to kill children and to hide their bodies in. So Golden Freddy, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, it's what I read, you know, and it's like a fan page, so I don't know if this is true or not, is meant to have a little girl. It's meant to be Cassidy. It's a little girl's soul, and I think she was meant to be like the very first victim of William Afton. I don't know if that's completely true, guys. I could be wrong. It's just what I've read. And normally before that you'll hear Golden Freddy appear, you'll hear a wee girl laughing, and this is meant to be Cassidy before he appears in your office. So that's all the animatronics that's within Five Nights at Freddy's. We've spoken a bit about Phone Guy. So we have, some people think that Phone Guy, because obviously we know he doesn't make it on night 4. Some people think that Phone Guy was killed by Golden Freddy because it was his jump scare that you hear. And it was maybe Cassidy, obviously, who killed him. Not sure. This is just, we're just surmising here, guys. I'm just getting, I went to a lot of places to get my info, and a lot of info was different, you know. it was confusing because not only do we have the bite at 87, we have the bite at 83 as well. The bite at 83, at least we know who did the biting and who died. So the bite at 83 was basically Golden Freddy who did that, and it was William Afton's younger son, and it was who basically got killed, and it was his older brother, the little boy's older brother, who stuck his head inside the Freddy animatronic as a joke because he knew his brother was terrified of the Freddy animatronic, and Freddy bit down and killed him. So that's nice. So I feel like I wanted to talk about this game because I was kind of like, is this game kind of worthy of the franchise that it's got, of the money that it's made, of the fact that they're making a movie? And in my opinion, definitely. And I really hope, and I know, I heard it was Scott Cawthon actually writing the script for the movie, so I don't think that they'll, that it'll be ruined in any way, because I'm not sure if this is true or not. I could be wrong, but there's another movie, and I don't know if it was the Banana Split movie. Does anybody remember Banana Splits? I'm old. I remember the Banana Splits. It was people in costumes, and it was like a band, and they sang, and they were all different animals. And then they made a horror movie, basically, and it was meant to be animatronics, like animals this time, and they were meant to go crazy and start trying to kill everybody. And they turned it into a horror movie, and it was a kids show. And basically, I heard that script was meant to be the script for Five Nights at Freddy's, but Scott Cawthon said, no way, that's nothing to do with the story, his game. And so they decided to go with the Banana Split thing. I don't know if it's true or not. It might be, it might not be. I don't know. That's all I heard, that it was a possibility that was basically the people going to Scott Cawthon and saying, here's our script that we've wrote, and he's like, no, that's not what I want. So the fact that he's doing the script, I think it probably will be quite good and detailed, and it'll be true to the game, and we might get more answers than what we ever anticipated, because now that I've started looking things up within all the 1 to 4 anyway, I'm now one of these people who are like, well, who did do the bite at 87, and who was Phone Guy, and trying to fit things bit by bit is not easy. It really is not easy trying to do it. But guys, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm thinking about maybe talking next about Silent Hill. If not, it will possibly be just something different. But I also have like a VR game that I'm going to be playing as well. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you're new to my channel, and you enjoy my PC and VR content, please subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.